In your picture, Jamar Kelly, who will be teeing up the football and kicking it off, talking with one of the officials. Back deep, you see John Fruin, Victor Von Sika, a couple of the deep men for the Naugatuck Greyhounds. Can't begin to tell our viewers, buddy, the meaning of this football game. And never mind all the things we talked about in pregame. This is for bragging rights.
Certainly
these two
is.
programs.
Certainly is for the year, and both football teams are quality programs, and here we go.
End over end. Fruin with the football, middle of the field. Fruin spins his way out close to the 40-yard line, so the Greyhounds will take over in fine position. Kevin Sharkey on the tackle for Ansonia.
John Fruin takes the ball, comes right up the middle. Excellent job of blocking by that Naugatuck interior, and it gets him right around the 39-yard line as he breaks a couple of tackles right there and pulls away before he's dragged to the ground by the Kevin Sharkey and a number of other Ansonia tacklers, and we're ready to go.
And that is a new defense concocted for this game against the Naugatuck Greyhounds. 6-2-3 for Ansonia. As the first play into the line of scrimmage is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look now at that Naugatuck offense. Of course, the Greyhounds come at you with that double tight end wishbone formation. In the backfield, of course, Murphy's the quarterback, the running back spot, to start at least, Fonseca, Bacchetti, and Valenti. And that big, big offensive line that's done the job all year long for Coach Craig Peters' team. We'll take a look at the Ansonia defense when we get a chance. Second and long for Naugatuck on the option. With the football, Bacchetti, he is stopped in the backfield. Prosnick from his linebacker spot coming up to meet the play. Let's take a look now at that Ansonia defense.
Eddie Ansonia is playing Tinney, Barrett, and Sharkey. That secondary inside of the ends and up very tight with the two linebackers in a six-man front. Thompson, Delavolpe on the ends with press. And they're going to try and contain that bone as they try to come outside with the option at the time. Prosnick, the linebacker, came and scraped very well into the pitch man, made the tackle for a loss. It's a big third down.
Look at that secondary, 4 yards off the line of scrimmage, 4 to 5 yards. As Murphy rolls on third and long, he's in trouble, and he's knocked down at the 39-yard line. A whole host of the Chargers in on the play, led by Don Plummer. And giving credit also to Sean Thomas.
Plummer and Thomas are going to contain Murphy as he tries to roll and throw the football. A little fake to Fruin, try and hold the linebackers, and then Murphy gets up in trouble before Thomas, along with Plummer, drag him to the ground. It's going to bring a fourth down. Good job by the Chargers on containing the pass on the big third and long, and they're ready to punt the football to Ansonia.
John Fruin standing outside his 25-yard line, getting set to punt the football away. Sails it deep. Sharkey at the 15. 25-yard line, spins his way out to the 32-yard line, where Ansonia will get their first crack with the football.
Sharkey brought that back about 17 yards on a great return. Had the wall set up to the near side. You'll see Sharkey find the wall. Good block in there by Robbie Clark. And then breaking back out of some tackles into about the 32-yard line is Kevin Sharkey, where Ansonia will start with their first possession of the opening quarter.
Football at the 32-yard line. Jarvis Field and Ansonia is the setting. A loose ball on the first down play for Ansonia. Lester handed off in the backfield, retained by Ansonia, held on to. Let's take a look now. Well, after this replay, we'll look at the Ansonia.
Ball is going to be fumbled as they come out of the bone, and he does not have it right there. He's lucky to get it back. Picks up about a yard. Looked like Dennis Tinney, and they're back out on the football, and they've broken the bone going to the eye.
I formation. Soldier flanked out to the right side now. Second and long for Ansonia at the 33. The junior quarterback wants to put it up on second down. Incomplete. He was throwing it out to Carl Barrett at midfield. Let's take a look now at that Ansonia offense. Of course, in the backfield, the junior quarterback, Rich Lester. Sean Thomas will be running out of the fullback spot, and the tailback and the senior quad captain for Ansonia. What a great career here, Kevin Sharkey. Let's take a look also at that Naugatuck defense. Well, we've got the opportunity.
Big third down now also for the Chargers as they tried to throw the football that time on 2nd and 10. Came out of the bone, now they're in the eye, and open look to that far side and motion back.
Clark is the tight end to the right side. Lester with good time swings it out in the flat. That's to Sharkey. Sharkey at the 40-yard line, close to the marker for the first down. It's going to depend on the spot. Ed Valenti from his monster back spot on the tackle for the Greyhounds.
Very close to that first down as Sharkey just circled out of the backfield. Lester looked downfield and then just drops the ball off to number 25 right here, Kevin Sharkey. Sharkey does the rest. He'll break a tackle and then come up very close to the first down yardage as Valenti will tackle him, and the measurement, he will be just short of that first down, less than a yard. Big call here early in the game for the Chargers. Coach Hunt sending out that punting unit as they are down around the 41-yard line, 41 and a half, and they're going to punt the football. As you look at the very, very large crowd of people who are still coming into this football game, the Ansonia side, and they are going to have one of the largest crowds ever to watch this series. 92nd time that these two football teams have come together, and it's a great, great rivalry, and this game, I think, is going to equal some of the better games that have ever been played.
Sharkey doing the punting for Ansonia on 4th and a foot from the 42-yard line. And Kevin sails it, gets it off. Back deep is Bacchetti, and it's just going to roll dead in the area of the 30-yard line. Greyhounds will get their second crack with the football. Earlier, Buddy caught up with Naugatuck football coach Craig Peters, and he asked the veteran Naugatuck coach if the focus was different coming against Ansonia after that Seymour scare.
We feel as though we've got to play 4 good quarters of football today, and that didn't happen last week, and we are focused on exactly what we have to do out here today. The kids are ready. They're excited about this football game, and it's a great day for Thanksgiving Day game.
Coach, Sharkey certainly is a big part of that offense. Is that the only thing you really have to do, take him out of the offense to beat this football team?
Not at all. They have Tinney and Barrett, and they have a lot of explosiveness around Sharkey as well. So we're prepared to stop Ansonia at all positions.
We're back, everyone.
You see Coach Peters there talking to his offensive unit, especially his quarterback, Greg Murphy, as he comes out now into the huddle. The second possession for Naugatuck did not do very well in that first possession. Ansonia with the 6-man front did a pretty good job of closing them down both on the run and the pass.
It's going to take a little period of adjustment for the Greyhounds. They have not seen Ansonia in this defense all year. Ansonia hasn't been in it all year. Worked out just for Naugatuck. That's Fruin, unable to get back to the line of scrimmage. Tying him up is Don Plummer from his defensive tackle spot.
2 linebackers are stacked. Robbie Clark and Prosnick are stacked behind the 2 guards. They just come with a pitch. Plummer comes off the block and does a good job of getting back and tackling Fruin for a loss of about a yard. You see Sharkey and number 85 for Ansonia coming up. Carl Barrett adding to the hit, but it's a 2nd and 11. Naugatuck unable to really get going here in this first quarter.
Key for Ansonia, Buddy, according to Jack Hunt, is not to let Naugatuck get that 5 yards on first down in that wishbone. Murphy, the quarterback, straight ahead for about 4 to the 35-yard line.
Soft middle with that 6-man front. The guards are lining up on the offensive guards with the 2 linebackers stacked. You'll see a little bit of an open inside there. Murphy just takes it and tucks it up for about 4.5 to 5 yards. A pretty good carry for Greg Murphy, and the Naugatuck football team is going to try and force Ansonia to take that away and possibly open up some of that outside area for them to run the option and that off-tackle power.
Greyhounds have broken the bones. Mercanit's out to the left side on a little bit of a scissors action out of the wishbone. Barrett and Sharkey on the tackle, and the Greyhounds are going to be forced into a punting situation. Their second look at the football, and the second time they're going to have to punt it away.
They come with a crossbuck. Fullback will come to the near side, and then backside will come Fruin, and he is tackled right about the line of scrimmage. You see number 25 Sharkey, and then Barrett along with the interior of that Ansonia front, and it brings up a 4th down. Naugatuck unable to move the ball in their first 2 possessions.
Fruin to punt the football away again. Another spine punt, sailing again to Sharkey at the 28. Sharkey looking for a wall. Near sidelines and run out of bounds in front of his bench at the 40-yard line by number 85, Jeff Smith.
Sharkey again with a good return, and Naugatuck will start with good field position at the 40. Sharkey will come to this near side, picks up a pretty good block right there for number 25 for Ansonia, and a free Sharkey to the 40-yard line before Smith runs him out of bounds.
Football's marked at the 41-yard line. We're just underway here at Jarvis Field in Ansonia. The people still coming in to this great football complex at Ansonia. Sharkey on a pitch out from the tailback spot, tied up by Tim Shea after a pickup of 2 on the play out to the 44-yard line. On the other side of the field, you can see the thousands of people, some of the thousands that have come down from Naugatuck to Ansonia. There's Sharkey on the replay, Bud.
Sharkey goes outside. Shea will come off the block. Do an excellent job of containing him. He keeps him to about a 2-yard gain. Chargers 2nd and 8, right around the 43.
Tinney is out wide to the right side. Lester, a little bit of mix-up, ends up with the football. I don't believe it was a design play, and Lester gets up to the 48 before he's bounced down there by Tim Shea.
You're right, Eddie. I think he's going to miss the handoff. You'll see him try and get the football here to Sharkey and doesn't. Pulls it back rather than risk the turnover, and then just follows Kevin Sharkey right up the hole for about 4 yards. It'll bring up a third and a makeable 3.5 to 4 yards for the Chargers in their second possession, right at the 48-yard line.
Third down, 3rd and 3, football at the Ansonia 48. First quarter action, Jarvis Field, Ansonia, Naugatuck, Ansonia, Thanksgiving Day football. Lester to throw, swings it out. It's complete to Clark for the first down to the 42-yard line. Paquetti and Valenti combine to make the stop for Naugatuck.
Clark will come out of the slot, just slide to the sideline. Lester hits him right in the numbers. Robbie Clark turns it up the field for about a 10-yard gain to the 42-yard line of the Naugatuck Greyhounds. Ansonia moving the football back into the bone, 1st and 10.
Well, Ansonia in the bone. Tinney slides off the left side, and Dennis gets inside the 40 to the 39-yard line before he's taken down there by Victor Fonseca.
Crossbuck out of the bone. Fonseca will come from his linebacker position. 29, Tinney just takes the football over the left side, and you'll see Fonseca there come from his linebacker spot, get the first hit on Dennis Tinney, but Tinney will pick up about 2 yards on that as Ansonia now moves out of that wishbone to the split backs with a receiver to this near side.
Thomas and Sharkey in the backfield, the split backs. On second down, the junior quarterback wants to air it out as a receiver out there. Overthrows Robbie Clark. Powell, one of the Naugatuck defenders, back deep with Paquetti. And I believe Garbarino also in the area defending for the Greyhounds.
Rich Lester threw the ball out of the reach of Robbie Clark that time, but it will drive that secondary back for Naugatuck, as they're going to have to be concerned with Lester's ability to get the ball deep as you look at head coach for Naugatuck talking to his defense.
Single back offense. Sharkey is out to the left side. Look for Lester to go to Sharkey. Goes long, and a little bit of mix-up in the Ansonia offensive scheme. Sharkey turned one way, and the pass went the other. End result, an incompleted pass and a 4th down coming up for Ansonia at about the 40. Now, Buddy Sharkey is the punter, and you just may see something off this 4th down play.
They're right at the 40, Eddie, so if you want to take a risk or gamble, it's not a bad spot on the football field to do it. 3:58 left to go in the first quarter, but I think Ansonia is going to play for that field position, force Naugatuck to use that entire football field if they're going to score, especially with that wishbone.
Carl Barrett is the tight end to the right side, and you are right. You are the coach, and Sharkey drills it inside the 10-yard line, and it's down there by number 40 for Ansonia, Seth Nader. With a break in the action, let's take this timeout.
Great punt that time by Kevin Sharkey as he backs Naugatuck up to the 10. With the bone, we know it's an offense that has to stay on schedule, and 90 yards is a long way to go in any football game to get yourself a score. Plus, if Naugatuck has to punt from this point on the field, it will shorten that distance that the Ansonia Chargers have to go to get in the end zone.
Greyhounds have broken the bone. And a loose football. Ansonia has it on a straight handoff, and the Chargers have it outside the Naugatuck 10-yard line. Don Plummer comes up with the loose football.
Eddie, there was never a good exchange by Murphy to the dive back. They're going to run a little bit of a veer, and watch, he never really gets the football into the stomach of the back, and it's going to come right out. It really was on the hip Bacchetti never had a chance to get the football, and on top of it, either Plummer or Soldier, one of the two will get credit. It looks like Don Plummer, number 77, and they're inside the 10, first and goal. Big turnover here early in this first quarter.
Actually just outside the 10, but a big break for Ansonia early on. Dennis Tinney swings it outside, 5-yard line. Dennis Tinney in for the score. And the Chargers have capitalized on the game's first turnover. Dennis Tinney taking it in from 11 yards out.
Naugatuck does not do a good job on tackling here as Tinney just outruns some hand tackles. See the pitch from Lester, and then Tinney gets good blocking from his backs. Right there, number 45 does not grab him. That's Garbarino, and into the end zone. Dennis Tinney, 6-0, 2:59 left to go in this first quarter. As Eddie said, the turnover. First play, Ansonia capitalizes with a touchdown.
Mauro Frialia for the extra point for Ansonia. We've got 2:59 remaining in the first quarter, and Ansonia's drawn first blood.
Wow.
Wide and low, and no good off to the left side. But Ansonia has gotten onto the scoreboard first here at Jarvis Field under just ideal conditions for Thanksgiving Day weather. Our score is Ansonia 6 and Naugatuck nothing. And Buddy Chernovitz caught up with Ansonia coach Jack Hunt before the game, and he asked the Ansonia coach what Ansonia had to do offensively against Naugatuck.
Well, we're going to move the ball around quite a bit. We're going to, try to get it out into the flats. We're going to throw it a little. We got a few surprises, a couple of new wrinkles we're going to put in. So hopefully that'll, get them out of their base defense.
Coach, defensively, this team also has presented some challenges. What defensively does your team have to do?
Well, I think what we have to do is we can't give them that big play, the big 25-yarder. So we got to make them earn every yard they get, and that's what we're looking to do today.
Coach, injury-wise, there's a question at the quarterback. How sound is your quarterback today?
Well, it wasn't an injury. He had a problem, and they had to do some tests on him, and all the tests came out negative. He's fine. There's no problem with him today. We have gone with Kevin, all week just in case. So anything can happen.
We're back, everyone. There is the gentleman who's completing his 4th year as the head football coach of Ansonia High School.
4 very highly successful years, and the Chargers are looking to get into the playoffs again to continue that tradition. A win here is a big part of that. Get themselves a rematch with the Derby Red Raiders down the road 1 week from Saturday.
Jamar Kelly will be kicking off. In your picture, that is Fruin along with Victor Fonseca. And Butler also back deep for Naugatuck as Jamar Kelly kicks it short to Smith, and Smith touches it down, and he touches down at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Greyhounds will go on offense. 3rd crack at the football, and Buddy, they have not, actually 4th, I should say, 4th time with the football, and the Greyhounds have not been able to get on track thus far.
Have not gotten a first down here in this first quarter, and that defense that the Ansonia Chargers are playing may be a part of that, but I think the aggressiveness on the side of the Ansonia Chargers is certainly something that Naugatuck is not really prepared for, because they are playing very aggressive football.
Ansonia still in that new look defense for them. That is Victor Fonseca slicing his way off the right side. Victor gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Ansonia filling the holes on that line. Prosnick on the tackle for Ansonia.
They go off tackle and really have no place to go, as you see Bacchetti there trying to get, or Fonseca trying to get some yardage, and he is closed down by not one but a number of Ansonia Chargers led by Mike Prosnick, the senior, and they are just closing off those off-tackle holes and taking away the middle, and Naugatuck is in some trouble here offensively.
Last play inside. Robbie Clark on the tackle. Jeff Bacchetti just on a simple handoff from Murphy.
Watch Clark just step up and take Bacchetti's legs right out from under him as they try to come with the fullback. Right there, Robbie Clark down and submarines him. Picks up about 2 yards, but that's not enough in his bone. It's a big 3rd and 7. Naugatuck has been in the 2nd and long, 3rd and long in this first quarter and have not really been able to capitalize. Ansonia doing an excellent job defensively.
That's just what Coach Hunt for Ansonia wanted, these situations developing for Naugatuck. Murphy's pass to Butler, incomplete. In the area covering for Ansonia, Clark along with Press.
Naugatuck is going to give the Chargers good field position as Murphy rolls to the far side, the Naugatuck side, and will overthrow his intended receiver. Doesn't really set his feet and not well thrown. Brings up a 4th down. Ansonia with Sharkey back there, and Tinney is going to have pretty good field position again as they will force the Naugatuck Greyhounds to punt him the football.
John Fruin to punt the football again for Naugatuck. And again, he sails it down. Again, Sharkey on the other end. The senior running back barrels his way close to the midfield line. Taken out there by number 85, Jeff Smith from Naugatuck.
Sharkey will get to the wall. You'll see number 47, Jeffrey Press, with a good block on right there that allows Sharkey to get around the corner, pick up another 5. He's across the 45 to the 46.5-yard line. Ansonia with excellent field position. Again, they come out first down in the wishbone.
Oh, Ansonia wishbone, never mind that.
Unbalanced to this side also.
Double tight end. Dennis Tinney slices his way to midfield on first down. Taken down there by Shea, the defensive end.
Ansonia came with the unbalanced and then went to the short side with the pitch. Sharkey leading along with Sean Thomas. Tinney does a pretty good job of picking up 3.5 to 4 yards. Ansonia giving Naugatuck a number of different looks offensively as they break the bone again this time and go to an open look to the far side.
Tinney flanked out to the left side. Sharkey goes in motion. Second down, Lester with time. Now under pressure, and the junior quarterback's going to be taken down. Bacchetti, first to reach him. Jeff Bacchetti, senior captain.
Lester just looked a little bit lost that time as he got back in the pocket, could not go to his primary receiver, and once he came off his primary receiver, right there he couldn't unload, and right here now he's a little unsure of what to do, and he gets caught up in the wash. Bacchetti comes in from his linebacker spot and drills him. About a 4.5 to 5 yard loss. It'll bring up a 3rd and 12 as the first quarter is drawn to an end.
First quarter score, Ansonia 6. Ansonia has a 3rd and 11. Football at their 45. They have own field position in this football game. They pretty much had it their own way. Lester throws it downfield. Incomplete, intended for Dennis Tinney at the 25 of Naugatuck. 3 Greyhounds on the coverage led by Andre Powell.
This is just a fly pattern down the far sidelines as Lester just takes and will unload the football. Not a badly thrown ball, but a little bit out of bounds by the time the receiver is going to come up with it. Good coverage also by number 86, Andre Powell, and the ball goes incomplete. Both teams have been punting the football. This is the 3rd punt for Ansonia. We've already seen Naugatuck punted 3 times. The turnover has been the story of this first quarter, and the 6 points for the Chargers.
McKinney is back deep for the Greyhounds, and that punt's going to roll dead at about the 30-yard line, inside the 30. And let's see what Naugatuck can do with the football as they get at their first possession of the second quarter.
Eddie, the Naugatuck football team rotates a number of their linemen, so they should have been able to talk about this 6-man front on the sidelines as some of those offensive linemen are not playing defense, and so we'll see that they've been able to make some adjustments here because right now that 6 front with the 2 linebackers is causing them a lot of problems in their blocking assignments, and they have had some time now during this first quarter to adjust, and we'll see if they've been able to do so.
The Greyhounds, their basic offensive set, double tight end wishbone.
They're playing Carl Barrett up in what is called a snake eye look as they break that one.
Jeff Bacchetti slices it off the left side to the 37-yard line on a first down carry. That's more like it for the Greyhounds. Carl Barrett on the tackle.
Barrett is only 7 yards off the ball as Bacchetti comes on the little crossbuck action, and they do a good job inside the Naugatuck Greyhounds of getting him finally into the secondary before Barrett makes the stop. It's 2nd and short. They're on schedule for the first time in this football game.
2nd and short for the Greyhounds just outside their 35-yard line. Fonseca, the ball carrier for the Greyhound, first down out to the 44-yard line. Victor Fonseca before he's taken down by Clark.
Best drive that they've had going here, best series as they come right off the football, their offensive line. Fonseca gets across the line of scrimmage for a first down, and that's the initial first down of the football game right about the 44.5-yard line of the Naugatuck Greyhounds. As you take a look at that Charger defense that so far has done a pretty good job in containing this ball.
First down for the Hounds at their 44-yard line. Second quarter, Jarvis Field. Victor Fonseca on a little bit of scissors action out of the wishbone. Fonseca takes it close to midfield, taken down there by Tinney in the secondary.
Eddie, again, a little bit of a misdirection as they'll pick up 4 yards. The fullback and halfback come this near side, and then the near back, Fonseca goes backside before Tinney, number 29, will drag him to the ground. Picked up about 4. It's about 2nd and 6 at about the 48-yard line.
And, Buddy, now they're on schedule.
They are on schedule.
What they want to do. This is what the Greyhounds want to do at this point. Jeff Bucchetti for that 3 to 4 yards out of the wishbone into Ansonia territory down to the 48-yard line.
Offensive line now is getting the initial block on the line of scrimmage. This time they allow Bucchetti to get across the line of scrimmage and then to utilize his power and pick up about 4 yards as they are close to that first down yardage on that 3rd and 1. Good drive started for the Greyhounds as the offensive line is Corcoran, Ferrers, Palladino, York, Shea, Herb, and Terry are now getting off the ball.
Murphy straight ahead. It's going to depend on the spot. I believe he's picked up the first down as the senior quarterback takes it close to the Ansonia 45-yard line.
Where they're spotting at the referee, it looks like he's going to have the yardage. Murphy just comes straight ahead. Good drive off the ball by Palladino and Corcoran and Ferris to allow Murphy to get that yardage. We'll see if they bring the yard markers out. From where it is spotted, it looks like he's going to have it by about half of the football. Offensive line starting to get into that defensive line a little bit. And I'm going to be wrong. He's going to miss it by half the football. So it's going to bring up a big 4th down here and a pretty big call for Craig Peters and that Naugatuck group as they are right at Ansonia's 41-yard line, 46-yard line. And it would be excellent field position if the Chargers can stop them here on this drive. They already are up 6-0. I know Naugatuck doesn't want to give them the ball, but they're going.
Tight formation, double tight end, wishbone. 4th and a foot. Fonseca slices his way for the first down as he gets across the Ansonia 45-yard line.
Sophomore Craig Soldier almost got the play in the backfield, number 50. You'll see 50 right here go through. He just does not get a piece of number 35, Victor Fonseca, the senior running back, one of the captains of this football team, picks up that big yardage there at the 45, first down and 10. 9:45 left to go in this second quarter with the Chargers up 6-0 in this football game.
Bruin, Bucchetti, and Valenti now in the backfield in the Naugatuck wishbone. On a crossbuck action, that is Bucchetti stopped at the line of scrimmage. Plummer on the tackle for Ansonia.
They will try and roll the crossbuck or the counter back to this side. You'll see Bucchetti get hit, and then number 77, Don Plummer, will finally drag him to the ground right at the line of scrimmage. Good job by the backside press, Plummer and Pacheco, in closing down that counter as Naugatuck tried the misdirection.
Murphy rolls under a rush, looking downfield, gets the pass off. It is caught by Valenti out of the backfield. It's a loose ball, however, and Ansonia has come up with the fumble. Valenti has the completion inside the Ansonia 30-yard line. Let's see who fell on it for Ansonia.
Murphy gets a lot of pressure. Backside Bucchetti and Fonseca blocking for him. He'll step up into the pocket and then throw the ball to a wide open Valenti. Valenti will catch it, and then he's going to get drilled as he tries to pick up extra yardage. The ball has not come out yet. There it is. It's pulled out by Kevin Sharkey, and Sharkey recovers it. Great job by Kevin Sharkey in stripping the football at the 28-yard line. Then recovering it, and the Chargers now have the football after a good drive by the Naugatuck Greyhounds has ended on that turnover.
Wishbone, a quick hitter. Sharkey at the 40-yard line, midfield and down to the 43-yard line. One tackle away from breaking it. Garbarino, a touchdown-saving tackle for the Hounds, the quick hitter.
That was a quick play. They came off the ball. They just come with a dive out of the bone. Kevin Sharkey breaks the line of scrimmage, and then it's a foot race. Paul Garbarino, the senior, is able to grab him right there before he breaks into the open, pulls him down at the 43-yard line. Big play by the Chargers.
Ansonia breaks the bone. Again, Sharkey. This time it's a stone wall as the right side of that Naugatuck defense, led by Al Terry, come up to, and Jason Pandolfo come up to meet the play.
Same play this time. They went out of the bone, just a quick dive, and Pandolfo is right here, number 60. There he is. He just wraps up Kevin Sharkey at the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up about a yard, but a good job by Jason Pandolfo, the senior who was there that time. They split Pandolfo and Berry the last time with Kevin Sharkey. Pandolfo this time came off the block of the center, made the tackle.
Ansonia with a second down, second and a long 9. Football at the Naugatuck 43. Sharkey goes in motion on second down. Quick hitter. That's to Thomas. He is slowed up. First to get to him, Tim Shea from his defensive end spot.
Berry was really tied up, John Berry, the juniors you'll watch, and it looked like he might have been held because 32, Sean Thomas bumps off him. Look at right there, Berry still can't get away from his block. And then Timmy Shea wraps up the ball carrier, Sean Thomas. Lost about a yard and a half. It's a big third down here for the Ansonia Chargers with 6:05 left to go in this second quarter of football.
Keith Soldra is brought into play from the sideline. Soldra out to the left side, Tinney out to the right side. As the junior quarterback back to throw. Pretty good throwing time. Gets it out to Sharkey. Incompleted pass at the 15. Garbarino along with Fruin, I believe, on the coverage for the Greyhounds.
Lester throws into coverage as they go single back. They'll get 4 receivers out into the pattern. Sharkey comes down and then will break to the corner. And when Lester lets the football go, Fruin has excellent coverage along with Garbarino, and they do a pretty good job of preventing that reception as the Chargers are forced to punt at their Naugatuck 45 after that turnover and big play by Kevin Sharkey. Naugatuck defense is stiffened, and Sharkey will punt the football.
Kevin standing at his 41-yard line gets an excellent long snap from
not a good kick, but it'll roll.
And it takes an Ansonia roll inside the Naugatuck 20-yard line. With our score, Ansonia 6, Naugatuck nothing. Let's take this timeout. Buddy, as I look out to the parking areas and the entrances here to
people are still
Jarvis
coming
Field,
into this football game.
They are coming in. It's going to be one of the largest crowds in recent memories of this great series. First down for the Hounds at the 16-yard line. On a scissors action, Bucchetti slicing his way out close to the 25-yard line. On the first down carry close to the yardage needed for a first down.
That's been the best play of the offense as Valenti and Fonseca go one way. Bucchetti comes back, and he will come close to that first down yardage as it'll be second and about 2. And they are running that crisscross or crossbuck out of the bone very well, and especially back to the left side of that Naugatuck line.
Naugatuck has a second and short. The football is at their 24-yard line.
Look at Barrett how close he is. There's the safety. He's right up on the nose.
Fruin running the football, and I believe John has picked up the first down as he sliced it off the left side outside the 25. Prosnick on the stop for Ansonia.
Take a look at the interior of that Ansonia line, and then the linebackers along with Barrett, they are right up almost on the line of scrimmage. And they are playing a snake eyes. They're playing a 9-man front basically against the ball, trying to take away that inside game. And then really depending on Sharkey and Tinney on the outside to close the option off. Look at Barrett right up in the snake eyes. You can just see him. He's right behind Prosnick.
First down for the Hounds. Bucchetti outside the 30-yard line. Barrett on the stop for Ansonia along with Prosnick.
Barrett and Prosnick. Again, you've got to watch Barrett as he is right next to Prosnick. He's playing a linebacker position. There's Prosnick, and then comes Barrett as Ansonia is selling out their people inside with their safety playing up very tight and probably reading that fullback, just trying to take that inside game away as Barrett eagle-eyeing that quarterback, Greg Murphy, for his first movement.
On the option, Murphy with the football taken down at the line of scrimmage. Let's see who got a hand on him. Might have been Duncan Delavolpe.
Murphy is going to try and cut back on the option, and Delavolpe, I think number 72, is going to grab him enough so that as he turns back, he's going to lose his balance. There's Delavolpe reaching out. He's got a piece of his shoulder, and he goes down. Delavolpe will get credit for that tackle, and it's going to bring up a third and about 6 for the Naugatuck Greyhounds as they tried the option that time, and the Chargers closed it down. With 3:47 left to go in this second quarter, the Ansonia defense has played a masterful game so far in closing the Naugatuck bone down.
Murphy wants to throw on 3rd and 6. Has an opening. He could run the football. But Clark takes care of Murphy at the 29-yard line. Robbie Clark came up quickly on the defense.
Murphy had an opportunity to dump the football to a receiver and just did not get rid of it, as he will come out of the roll, contained there by number 83 for Ansonia, allows the quarterback to pull up inside. That's Pettit, and then he is drilled by Clark and company as he could not get the throw off. Fruin is going to have to punt the football, and Naugatuck has been punting all half.
Well, Fruin gets it off, sails it on the far side of the field, and it's going to be down by the Greyhounds at the 43-yard line, where Ansonia will take over their own 43 with 3 minutes and change. Actually, right now the clock's showing under 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
It's been a very quick first half of football as both teams have been concentrating on the run. Pass has not been a big part of this football game, and the turnover has been the key.
Our Cable 10 Valley High School football game of the week. Annual Thanksgiving Day battle between Ansonia and Naugatuck. Draw play. Sharkey. 45. Midfield. Breaks a tackle. 45 down to the 42. Goes the senior running back before he's taken down by Fruin and Powell.
Sharkey's going to run through a lot of tackles before Fruin finally gets his legs. They run the draw, and they've made a living on this for a lot of years. Sharkey gets a seam. He route runs a tackle here. He does a good job against Valenti breaking that tackle, or Garbarino, and then Fruin just finally wraps him up. But a big game for the Chargers. They've got a lot of time at the ball at the 43 in their 2-minute-0 in business.
Single back offense.
Handoff goes to number 26 of the Chargers.
Jamar Kelly, who's now checked in as the single back, he takes the handoff from Lester inside the 40-yard line.
5-yard gain as Kelly comes right up the middle. Good takeoff by the Ansonia line, but Ketty and company will drag him to the ground, but not before he picks up 5 yards. 146 left here on the 38-yard line. The Chargers got to move that ball. They're not in and out of the huddle very quickly, so they are not in that 2-minute-0 as they're taking a lot of time themselves to get a playoff.
But ball at the Naugatuck 39, and Lester with the time rifles it out. Barrett on the receiving end, and Barrett,
oh, he breaks it.
10-yard line, touchdown Ansonia. Carl Barrett broke the tackle at the 20-yard line, or about the 25. He broke under the grasp of Andre Powell, and Barrett did not want to go down, and he did the rest by himself, taking it in for the 6 points.
Carl Barrett runs a quick turnout. As he catches the football, you would think that he'd run out of bounds, stop the clock. Right there, Powell has got him wrapped up. Help goes right by here as nobody tackles him, and then he just outruns the tackle into the end zone, and the Chargers are up 12-0 with 1:25 left to go here in this first half. A great run and catch for the touchdown.
12-0 with 1:25 remaining. And Coach Craig Peters has just left his huddle, and he's telling his kids to settle down. Remember, in the last game we had with Naugatuck against Seymour, the Greyhounds were down in that football game, 20 points, so Greyhounds have the capability to come back. Ansonia shifts out of the wishbone. Lester looking to throw. Under a rush, gets it off. Incomplete. Out of the end zone. Let's see who he was going for. Robbie Clark was the intended receiver.
And with 1 minute, 25 seconds to go.
They shift out of the ball to 2 wideouts. Lester rolls to the far side and then tries to get Clark. Clark will come back. The ball is overthrown and Robbie Clark cannot get back to it. We'll see if those missed extra points play a part in this football game.
Jamar Kelly tees it up for Ansonia. So the Chargers scoring once in the first quarter and scoring late here in the second quarter of play. Pass play from Lester to Barrett. Barrett broke free from a Andre Powell tackle at the 20-yard line. Rambled into the end zone for the second Ansonia score. End over end. Coming down to the 10-yard line. That's a free ball. And the Greyhounds are going to have it. Fonseca finally picked up the football, and the football is at the 17-yard line, deep for Naugatuck. Very poor field position.
Victor Fonseca does a good job of waiting to see if it's going to roll out of bounds, and then picks it up. He tried to get the penalty with the ball going out, and then once he picked it up, he really couldn't go anywhere. He's lucky to get the ball to the 15. Good coverage by the Ansonia Chargers special team unit, and 85 yards with only 1:14 left to go. Naugatuck needs that first touchdown, but they haven't really put together a good drive yet here in this first half.
And they're backed up. Very poor field position, Buddy, at the 15. Fruin off the left side, and John gets it close to the 20-yard line.
I think Naugatuck will be looking to get in and to try and reevaluate, as Coach Craig Peters sending a play in here as they just go off tackle with a power on the first down. They're close to the 19-yard line, but time is running out. We're down to 43 seconds. Fruin is dragged to the ground by that Ansonia Charger backside, and they are doing a good job of containing the bone, as we've said, in this first half.
Second down on the crossbuck for the Greyhounds. Breaking it is Bucchetti as Jeffrey gets it outside the 30-yard line. Barrett on the tackle for Ansonia.
Sharkey came in there also to help out. Bucchetti just coming on the crossbuck or counter play. He finds some room inside. There's Sharkey, Tinney, Barrett, all getting help on the tackle as Naugatuck is taking a timeout with 27 seconds left to go in the first half.
Well, as Coach Hunt told you in our pregame interview, he did not want that big play broken against his Chargers by the Naugatuck Greyhounds. Time is back in. First down. Time running down here at Jarvis Field.
Could be a turnover here as Kevin Sharkey pulled the football loose. They're going to rule it was on the ground. Sharkey again got in there with the hands to strip the ball carrier. They come with Fruin. Fruin comes right up the gut, and you'll watch Kevin Sharkey now come in. There's one hand in there, but Sharkey is going to strip the ball. Here he comes. Watch him go in with his head to the numbers, and then he will come out of this with a loose ball. There he stripped it, and they will cover it, but forward progress, and the ball carrier, John Fruin, is ruled down right at the Naugatuck football team this year.
It'll be interesting to see, Buddy, in the second half, the adjustments that the Greyhounds make to the Ansonia different look on defense. Of course, they'll have a chance at halftime to talk things over, as you said earlier in the first half, get down their blocking schemes.
They had some problems early. The second quarter, they've come out and done a little bit better. But I think they'd like to just put on paper what the Chargers are doing, as they're back to the 50 now, Ansonia.
Straight handoff. That's Bucchetti taking it to the 40-yard line, but it's not going to result in any points if the Greyhounds go 5 yards on a carry. What they need now is a big play. The Greyhounds apparently had another timeout because they've just called. It'll be a 3rd and short for the Greyhounds. They're just outside their 40-yard line, and we have 13 ticks that are showing on the scoreboard clock. Remaining here in the first half of play in our Cable 10 Sports Valley High School football game of the week. Bruin tied up by Della Volpe.
Della Volpe will hog tie Fruin as he comes back on the counter. There's 72 who broke inside of the block, came unblocked, and makes the tackle. First down. This will be the last play if they get it off.
And they do. Fonseca on that power sweep gets it outside, or no, he doesn't. Coming up to meet the play is Dennis Tinney from the secondary, and that's it. We have concluded. The first half matters here at Jarvis Field in Ansonia under a spectacular sun and a great day weather-wise on Thanksgiving 1990. Our halftime score is Ansonia 12, Naugatuck nothing. We will be back with the halftime activities right after these messages. Before I miss it, Buddy, I want to mention that all the designs at Jarvis Field, the credit should go to, you see the designs, the Ansonia emblem out there and the Naugatuck emblem out there, and in the end zones, Ansonia, and on the all the result of the efforts of Steve Zura from Ansonia. Mr. Zura was here late last night, and there you get a snapshot of the north end of Jarvis Field here.
Right at the 50, too, Eddie, if I can interrupt, you can see the names of the seniors out on the field. You'll see Della Volpe to the left there, and then all of the seniors right out along the 50. And great job of decorating this field for the 92nd meeting between the Greyhounds and the Chargers, and we're ready to go for this third quarter.
Steve Zura was ably assisted by his #1 assistant, Patsy Colacelli. Carl Barrett on the Fonseca kickoff. Barrett returns it outside the 30 to the 34-yard line. And so the Chargers get the football to begin the second half. They lead it 12-0. John Fruin on the kickoff tackle for the Greyhounds.
Watch 23, Fruin play off the block here and then take Barrett to the ground. Right to the waist. 1st and 10 at the 36.
Sharkey out of the bone. Runs for about 5 yards on that first down carry, close to the 40-yard line. The senior running back playing his final regular season home game, playing actually his final home game. Great career here at Ansonia, Kevin Sharkey.
Out of the bone on 1st down. We saw the Chargers in the first half. Sharkey just goes to the right side of that offensive line, picks up about 4.5 yards on the 1st down carry. Chargers would like to run the football as much as possible and pick up some 1st downs and to put one of these drives into the end zone.
Football at the 38-yard line. Again, Sharkey slowed up this time. Unable to advance the football past the 39-yard line. So pickup of 1 on the play. And Ansonia's faced with about a 3rd and a long 4.
They go to that far side. Barry, Terry, and Pandolfo will play off the blocks extremely well. Sharkey has no place to go. You see 60 Pandolfo get a piece of him, and then Barry, Terry, and Bacchetti drag him to the ground. It's a 3rd and 5. As they will break the bone, they will send Tinney to this near side and go into the eye.
Sharkey is the tailback. Thomas is the fullback in front of him. With time to throw the football, that's Lester, and he completes it for the 1st down outside the 45-yard line. Powell on the coverage for Naugatuck.
Tight wing, Barrett will just slide out into the flat, and then Lester will just stand up tall and throw him a strike. He'll pick up 1st down before Andre Paul knocks him out of bounds, but it's a big 1st down at about the 45.5-yard line as the Chargers with a 1st down on this first possession of the 3rd quarter. You see number 10 there, Keith Soldier, bringing the plays in, alternating it in, and the Chargers will send him out to this near side with Tinney in the slot out of the eye.
1st down for Ansonia outside their 45. Sharkey trying to swing wide to the near side. The senior running back gets it close to midfield, and an awful lot was on his own. Garbarino on the stop for Naugatuck.
Shea will come up also, but there was, as you'll see, the first penalty of this football game is Rich Lester just pitches the football out. Thomas leading. Valenti plays off, but Sharkey's speed allows him to get outside, and he will get down the field before he is knocked out of bounds by Garbarino there along with Shea behind. And we've got a penalty against the Chargers, and it will be the initial penalty to this first game as Jeff Bacchetti talks to the head referee. It's a hold, and it will move the Chargers way back on that 1st down carry by Kevin Sharkey.
So the ball now will be brought back to the Ansonia 41-yard line. 1st down for Ansonia. 1st and 15 for the Chargers. Just underway in the 3rd quarter. Cable 10 Sports Valley High School football game of the week. Our final regular season game for the 1990 season. Draw play. Sharkey bottled up at the 45-yard line as a host of Greyhounds get to Sharkey, led by big Carl Hackstrom from his defensive tackle spot.
Bring up a 2nd down, 11 yards to go.
They come with the draw. They spread them out. Pandolfo goes by him. Watch Hagstrom, 76, slide off the block. He'll get help. Looks like Fonseca also drags him down for about a 4-yard gain. It's a 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11 for the Chargers at their 45. Lester, good time to throw. Now he's taking a hit, and he's taking a sack. And the defense led by Barry and Shea. John Barry, defensive tackle, and Timmy Shea, defensive end. And the Greyhounds defense is starting to assert itself.
Pocket will collapse as Lester goes back. Sean Thomas blocking along with Kevin Sharkey. As he makes the fake, the pocket will just collapse in on him. Shea and number 58, John Barry, with the sack. Brings up a 3rd and about 20 for the Chargers here as they're backed up at the 36-yard line, their own 36-yard line. 9:04 left to go in this third quarter, and they're having trouble getting enough players into the huddle. They're going to have to take a timeout, or they're going to take a penalty here. And there it is. Leicester's going to have to take that timeout, as they could not get the right mix into that huddle. Coach Delavolpe, the offensive coordinator, will come out, and they will try and sort things out here on a big 3rd down and 20 for their offense.
When we resume action here, Ansonia will have the football at their 36-yard line. 3rd down, 3rd and long, 3rd and 19. Chargers have taken the second half kickoff. In your picture now, you see head football coach Craig Peters. His Naugatuck Greyhounds are down 12-0. And over there on the home side is Jack Hunt, who's a little bit upset at what he's seeing at this point.
Don't want to waste that timeout, especially on a big 3rd and long when your offense is backed up. They don't want to risk the timeout. It may be very important later on in this football game, although right now it doesn't seem like it would be, enjoying a 12-0 lead as they come with a slot to the near side. Tinney and trips actually to the near side. Barrett, Tinney, and looks like number 20 in that slot for Ansonia.
That's Robbie Clark, and they give it to the lone back.
Not wanting to risk anything there as they went to trips and just tried to come up the middle.
Pandolfo on the tackle for the Greyhounds, so Ansonia will have to relinquish the football early on in the 3rd quarter.
See the offensive center, Mike Prosnick, get off the ball. Behind him will come Kevin Sharkey, but he is stacked up right about the line of scrimmage. He picked up about 4.5 yards, but not enough on a big 3rd and 19. And back to punt will be Kevin Sharkey. It'll be interesting to see now how Naugatuck is able to do moving that football in this 3rd quarter.
Kevin Sharkey gets off a fine punt, a spiral. It hit one of the Greyhounds, finally picked up by Jeff Bacchetti, and he has slowed up and stopped at the 20-yard line. So the Greyhounds will not have the best field position to go on the offense for the first time for them in the second half.
Ball is going to come off, I think, John Fruin's helmet. As the ball comes down, Fruin is making a block, and it will hit right there
off the shoulder,
and Bacchetti with an excellent job of playing and staying with the football and preventing the turnover. As Naugatuck, again, as Eddie said, is backed up at their 20-yard line. They've got to go 80 yards to get into the end zone.
Let's see what the Hounds do with it, down by 2 scores. They start out in that basic offensive set, double tight formation. Murphy cannot pitch it. He is taken down for a loss. Plummer first to get to Murphy.
Naugatuck has not made a living on the option. They've been a power team. They try this time with Murphy coming outside. He looks to pitch the ball. Sean Thomas wraps him up, and then he thinks twice about pitching it off as Plummer comes in behind him. They will lose 2 on the attempted option, and not good for this football team as they are unable really to get any kind of a momentum or rhythm going here with this offense.
Oh, a crossbuck action. And that's Fonseca, I believe. Let me get a look at his number. And ball carrier takes it up to the 20-yard line. Delavolpe on the stop for Ansonia along with Prosnick.
They come with the crossbuck back again. Fonseca, no place to go. You see Prosnick there. He gets help from Delavolpe, but Mike Prosnick will get credit for the first hit. Naugatuck not feeling a rhythm. They are just not in with that offense, and they have not gotten that first down yardage that they feel is essential to keep that wishbone on schedule.
You know, Buddy, let's just take a look at some of the stats that we have for Naugatuck coming into this final regular season game. The fact that in the season they rushed for almost 2,500 yards, an average of 6.6 yards per carry.
They're not even close to that today with the Charger defense. They are just taking away the first and second down carries of that Greyhound offense.
3rd and 10. Murphy wants to put it up on 3rd down, and he's gotten to Thomas, Sean Thomas.
Murphy had pretty good time. He's out in the pocket. Sean Thomas came off the block for the sack. It'll be down around the 11-yard line. You'll see Murphy roll a little bit to the near side out of the bone. Again, not a great passing formation, but he has time, just cannot let it go. Off the block comes Sean Thomas for the sack, and the Naugatuck Greyhounds are going to give the Ansonia Chargers pretty good field position on this punt, as Fruin will punt out of his own end zone.
Just into his end zone is John Fruin, and gets the long snap.
Not a good punt either.
End over end, fielded there by Robbie Clark. Clark inside the 40-yard line, and the Chargers are going to have excellent field position on their second possession of the second half. With a break in the action, let's take this timeout. 0-0. On a short punt, they take over at the Naugatuck 38. Sharkey looking for blockers, and the senior running back gets it inside the 35-yard line.
They came with an unbalanced to the far side and just pitched the ball to Kevin Sharkey. The unbalanced look, and they go to that far side Sean Thomas lead block, and all they're going to try and do is get Sharkey a little bit of room where he can use that running ability as he picks up about 3. They're inside the 35 at the 34-yard line. This is a very big defensive series for the Naugatuck Greyhounds in this third quarter. They've got to stop Ansonia.
Second down, 2nd and 7 for the Chargers. A fake scissors play. Lester, with all the time in the world, gets it out there. Incomplete. Overthrows Keith Soldra at the goal line. Fruin on the coverage along with, I believe,
Watch
Garbarino.
number 11 here, Timmy Shea. He does not know where the ball is on this. Lester, you're not going to get a piece of him, but Lester gets outside, no contain, and then just overthrows the intended receiver in the corner of the end zone. It's third down on the 34, about 7 yards. They are in 4-down territory at this moment, so they have 2 plays to pick up the yardage if they choose to use that and not punt the football. But wide open in the end zone, Lester couldn't connect.
Bear it out to the left side, and they give it to Sharkey. And Kevin brings it close to the 30-yard line, and Coach Hunt is going to have a decision to make. Hagstrom on the tackle for Naugatuck.
Come on, a little bit of the crossbuck. You see the fake to the fullback, then Sharkey coming back, breaks the initial tackles at the line of scrimmage, pulls himself close to the 30-yard line. He's going to need a good 3-4 yards for that first down here as Naugatuck digs in. This could be a very big play in deciding the outcome of this game, especially if the Chargers can convert the first down.
Football at the 31-yard line, single back for the Chargers. Let's see if Lester gets it out and completes it. Dennis Tinney for the completion. He fumbled the football, gathered it back in. Now they're calling it an incompleted pass.
Wow. We'll get a chance to see it again here as to whether he had possession or not.
That would have been a first down.
It was a first down at the 20. Lester drops back. He drops the ball right and over the coverage into Tinney. Right there, he catches it. Oh, that's a catch. And then a fumble. And then we've got the recovery, and they're going to call it no catch. Naugatuck is going to catch a break here as Coach Hunt, when he sees that on the replays, is going to have something to yell about because Tinney took it. He had both feet on the ground. He ran, and then the ball was knocked out of his hands. Naugatuck with the football at the 30.
First down for the Hounds. McKitty on the first down carry out of the wishbone. Jeffrey takes it to the 33-yard line, taken down by Eric Sturgis, now in defensively for Ansonia.
Power right over the 2 blocking backs. Paquetti trying to get the tough yardage. He'll pick up about 3. Ansonia, though, is doing the job in containing the first and second down rushes of those Greyhounds.
Football at the 34-yard line, second down for the Greyhounds. Trying to get things going here. Again, out of the wishbone. Greyhounds methodically moving the football outside the 35. That was Fruin.
Again, they'll come to the near side. 2 lead backs just blocking for Fruin as Fruin just puts his nose across the line of scrimmage and then follows his blockers. He'll pick up another 3. It's a third and about 3.5 here for the Naugatuck football team. They are not in 4-down territory yet. They need a big 4-yard carry here from one of their backs as they split the bone.
Smart Kennedy out to the right side on third down in a passing situation. On the option with the football, Buchetti for the first down. Buchetti breaks it, midfield, 40, 30-yard line, one player to beat. Tinney takes them down at the 24-yard line of Ansonia. So the Greyhounds have come alive here late in the third quarter of play. Jeff Buchetti on the pitch out from Murphy, taking it all the way inside the Ansonia 25-yard line.
They run the lead option with the blocking back or the near back just running out and blocking for Buchetti. He gets around the corner, Good blocks all the way down, and then he will have one man to beat. Dennis Tinney, who has the angle, will finally drive him out of bounds around the 21-yard line, where the Greyhounds are in business now with 2:52 left to go in this third quarter, as Murphy looks like he's changing the play.
Naugatuck has not had much to cheer about thus far in this football game, and they have come alive. Fonseca out of the wishbone down to the 20-yard line. And remember, let's go back earlier in this football game to the missed extra points for Ansonia.
They come with the power. Valenti leading along with Vecchetti. Fonseca just gets behind the blocks. He'll pick up about 3.5 yards, as the schedule of that Naugatuck Greyhound football team has been drastically improved by that run by Vecchetti just a moment ago, as they're down inside the 20.
The ball at the 17-yard line. The fullback is Valenti. The running backs are Fruin and Fonseca. A loose ball. A wild scramble. Still a scramble. And it's Naugatuck's football. A wild scramble. Sharkey went for it, and Fonseca won out inside the 10-yard line.
Eddie, there is one of the wildest fumbles that I've ever seen. The ball is going to get popped up into the air on the hit. As Fruin comes into the line, right there, it's just knocked up into the air, and now watch the scramble. There are about 4 people who have a shot at it. 35 right there standing around waiting his option, and he will finally cover it right there as he beats Sharkey to the football. Victor Fonseca with a big recovery at the 10.
And the Greyhounds.
Or a first down, Eddie, no less.
First down is right, buddy, just outside the 10. Inside, that's Vecchetti. Down to the 5-yard line. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. We've got ourselves a football game. Clark on the tackle for Ansonia.
Watch right up the middle. Straight ahead cross block at the hole by number 78, Corcoran, as he frees Vecchetti right up to the 5-yard line. It's 2nd and goal at the 5. Corcoran, good trap block that time inside as Ferris and Palladino blocked down. And they're back out on the football. Like to get this score before the end of this third quarter. It's going to be a heck of a fourth period here at Nolan Fields.
2nd down. That's Vechetti's tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Let's see who got to him first. Soldra. Craig Soldra, the sophomore defensive guard, 6'4", 200-pound sophomore.
He just beats Corcoran off the ball and then submarines the play. He gets down in it. You see him there. Corcoran could not get lower than Soldra, and Soldra just took the ball carrier with him as he turtled everyone there. 57 seconds left to go. This is a big third down here for the Naugatuck Greyhounds. They need to get a touchdown.
Smirkanitz out to the left side, and we have seen what Mr. Murphy has done in similar situations, Buddy Chernovitz. Third down. Straight ahead.
He's going to be close, but he is not in the end zone. It's going to bring up a big fourth down, as he'll get close to about the 1-yard line. As you look at that large group of Ansonia fans, he just goes straight ahead. He follows Dan Ferris's center. He'll get down around the 1, maybe the 2, probably closer to the 2, before he's driven back. You see Barrett in there along with a lot of other blue jerseys. A timeout here as the Chargers and the Greyhounds now know the importance of this play, as it's 4th and goal from about the 2-yard line. They can make a first down too, Eddie. All they really need is about a yard. They've got to get half the distance. They can get that first down.
So the football is resting at the 2-yard line. It's a 4th and 1. Time is showing 22 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. It's been a great one in the 92nd renewal between Naugatuck and Ansonia on our Cable 10 Sports Valley High School football game of the week. Naugatuck, of course, coming in undefeated at 9-0, and Ansonia with 1 loss to midseason to Derby.
Eddie, it's a power football team. They're going to run, I would suspect, something very basic with their lead backs blocking at the point of attack. I don't think they'd go wide with Murphy, although the option is a possibility. They're not a real strong option team. I would suspect some type of off tackle power, something between the tackles, either the tackle power or right up the gut, with the fullback and off-back leading for either Fonseca or Vecchetti or Fruin, one of the 2 backs. We'll see who's in there, Fruin. So I would bet either Fruin or Vecchetti to get the football.
Here we go. 4th and 1. Football game may come down to this play. Vecchetti into the end zone for the score. The Greyhounds get on the scoreboard.
They followed Fruin and Valenti into the end zone for the touchdown as they come off tackle. You see Vecchetti lead or Fruin lead along with Valenti, and right behind him comes number 33, Jeff Pichetti. He will follow the blockers in, and he will get that touchdown. It is 12-6, big extra point right here. Naugatuck will kick it. They need one conversion and a touchdown here to take the lead, as Coach Peters now a little bit at ease after his football team converts that big fourth down play. 15 seconds left to go here in the third quarter.
Fonseca is normally an automatic at the extra point.
And this will bring up an interesting call, because Ansonia went across the neutral zone prior to the kick. Whether they choose to take the penalty and maybe go for the 2 points, they've cut the distance down in half. You'll see the far side on the replay. Tinney and looks like Thomas, they will violate. Tinney definitely violates before the snap, and it will bring up an interesting call for Craig Peters, as all he really needs is the 1 point on the conversion. But if he can get the 2, bird in the hand, though, is better than those in the bush, they always say, and it's an easier route to kicking right now, and all he needs is that 1 point conversion. Plus another touchdown. Let's not sell this game short here. He's still got to get into the end zone a second time.
Score is Ansonia 12 and Naugatuck 6. They're going to mark it off half the distance to the goal line. There's the indication. It's actually declined by Naugatuck.
They're not going to change the angle of their kicker nor where they place the ball down. They're going to put it at the 10 and kick this extra point.
So the football still at the 3-yard line, as it is for all extra points. And Fonseca converts. And the Greyhounds have drawn within 5 points of the Ansonia Chargers. 15 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock, and now Ansonia has a 12-7 lead. There is Victor Fonseca in your picture. He's getting ready to tee it up and kick off to Ansonia.
1 second to kick off for the Greyhounds.
There's several of the thousands of crowd of people who have come down from Naugatuck to Ansonia to witness the 92nd meeting between these two fine high schools.
It's the first real cheering that the Naugatuck fans have been able to enjoy in this football game. Big call on that catch by Tinney and the fumble. Naugatuck took the football from their own 30-yard line, went 70 yards in a very quick drive to get the first points of this football game. As you see Pop Shortle there, the Valley historian of football, especially on the Ansonia side.
Buddy, it was a big play in that drive, of course, the option to Pichetti.
On a third and about 4.
Sharkey on a return, almost spins it outside as the senior running back gets it outside the 30-yard line. Very stopped there by Pandolfo.
Sharkey will jump over Fruin, who gets turtled on the block here. You'll see right there, Robbie Clark, he'll get a piece of someone, and Barrett. Good block there as Tinney just turtles Fruin, and up the field comes Sharkey before Pandolfo will drag him to the ground out of the pack at about the 33-yard line.
Well, the scoreboard clock has shown no time, but we continue to play here in the third quarter. First down on a quick hitter, Sharkey. John Fruin in on the tackle. There is the indication, and that is the end of the third quarter. But let's get the replay first.
Sharkey just comes on a quick hitter. Pandolfo right there closes it off. Got a pretty good pop in there, close to the whistle, and that ends this third quarter.
Our score is Ansonia 7 to start the fourth quarter. A slim 5-point lead. Lester gets it out to Sharkey, but a fine defensive effort by Fonseca coming up from his linebacker spot to prevent Sharkey from turning it upfield.
Fonseca will take the back out of the backfield. He is the linebacker to that side. They go to Sharkey as they did in the first quarter for a big play, but Fonseca right there. He loses about a half a yard. It'll bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Ansonia offense, and they would like to get a couple first downs here. They don't want to turn the ball over with good field position to the Greyhounds. It's a big third down here for Rich Lester as they go to the trips to this near side.
Single back in a passing situation for Ansonia. Lester gets it out. Carl Barrett. And Barrett picks up the first down outside the 45-yard line.
Big third down completion as Carl Barrett just sat out of the trips. He'll wait and then come under the 2 inside receivers who clear for him. Lester throws a strike, and then Barrett will pick up a couple additional yards to the 46-yard line. But that's a big first down for the Ansonia Chargers.
First down for Ansonia just outside their 45-yard line. We just entered the fourth quarter of play. Beautiful day for football. Final weekend of the regular season. Thanksgiving Day 1990. Sharkey inside, or crosses the 50, I should say, into Naugatuck territory before he's taken down by Bacchetti.
Ansonia has made good use of the wishbone on first down situations. This time they'll come with a crossbuck. Sharkey comes back against the grain and will pick up about 6.5 yards on that first down carry. Big first down for them as they're down at about the 47.5 yard line of the Naugatuck Greyhounds. They'll stay in the bone again.
Second and short for Ansonia out of the wishbone. Who else? Sharkey. Little extra effort. Finally taken down by Al Terry, and then getting in late on the play, Garbarino.
Close, but he's going to be a little bit short of that first down as they come with the power formation out of the bone to this near side, just running off tackle. Terry sits and waits for him, gets help. Sharkey is about a half a yard short of that first down as they'll measure. 10 minutes and 13 seconds left in this football game. Pretty good drive here by the Ansonia Chargers after the touchdown by the Naugatuck Greyhounds. They will measure, I think it's going to be about a half a yard short. And Ansonia will have 2 downs if they choose to use it to make that first down right at about the 44.5 yard line of the Greyhounds.
Third and short for Ansonia. But he mentioned 10-13 remaining in this football game. Ansonia leads at 12-7. We've had a great one. There have been several great games in this series. The 92nd meeting between Ansonia and Naugatuck. Third and short, just inside the Naugatuck 45. Wishbone for the Chargers. A loose ball, and the officials on the play signaling that Ansonia has retained possession.
He's going to lose about a half a yard. The quarterback, Rich Lester, never got the snap. May have pulled out a little bit early on it, and it'll be an interesting call. Watch Lester never has the football. His hands do not get it. He loses it right here. It's down on the ground, and he is presence enough to just get on it. He will just beat it. Looked like Bacchetti to the football, and it'll bring up a 4th down. The Chargers will punt the football.
Sharkey standing outside his 40-yard line. Again, an excellent long snap, and Sharkey, fine punt. Bacchetti just lets it bounce at the 25. It's down there by Ansonia, but the Greyhounds have the football and the momentum.
See Robbie Clark going off. Looks like a leg cramp as it is heated up a little bit here in this middle of the second quarter into this 4th period. As the sun has come on, you see them working on a leg cramp that number 20 Robbie Clark has, as the Naugatuck Greyhounds now will go 75 yards to get into that end zone with a lot of time left in this 4th period, about 9:14.
Buddy, there have been many great finishes here at Jarvis Field between these 2 high schools, and looks like we're going to have another one.
They've broken the bone again.
Straight handoff. Bacchetti.
They're in what will look like a split back veer look as Bacchetti just comes up the middle. They try and get a block from Fruin to help him, but he picks up about 2 yards. They broke the bone before to run the option, and they're out of it now in the split backs.
Second down for the Hounds at their 28-yard line. Murphy on the option. And an option pass coming up. Bruin throws downfield, has a receiver out there. It is intercepted by Ansonia. Kevin Sharkey at the 40-yard line. Bruin was throwing to Butler, Rodney Butler downfield, but Sharkey was with him step for step.
Sharkey just does a masterful job of playing his outside receiver and then just going to the football. Bruin does a good job of getting the ball deep, but Kevin Sharkey with great coverage and the interception at about the 40, 38, 37-yard line of the Chargers.
Kevin Sharkey intercepts for Ansonia. And the wishbone, Ansonia has it at the 36. Sharkey gets the call, but he is submarined. Ed Valenti from his monster back spot, submarining Sharkey at the line of scrimmage.
tackle and end, play off their blocks very well here as Shea, and it looks like Hagstrom along with Valenti just come up and do a good job of cutting that play right off before it got started, as they are just giving Sharkey the football out of the power formation, the bone, and letting him run, trying to create a seam for him as their second and about 11.
Second down, second back, Sharkey to the 48-yard line, and I believe Sharkey has picked up the first down, taken down in the secondary by Fruin.
The longer the Chargers hold on to the football, as you see the crossbuck with Sharkey, and a great block by number, looked like 52 for Ansonia, who freed Sharkey in there on that crossbuck.
John Pellizzeri.
Pellizzeri did a good job right at the hole on the trap. Sharkey got into the seam, picks up the first down at about the 48-yard line of the Chargers. And time very important as we're down close to 7 minutes to go in this game.
Barrett out of your picture, out to the right side. I formation, Sharkey out of the I-back spot, and Sharkey takes it into Naugatuck territory, down to the 47-yard line.
Jamar Kelly's going to get a pretty good hit on Valenti. Valenti will careem off the block of Kelly right here. He'll fall back in, and then Sharkey will just run over him for extra yardage before Pandolfo will drag him to the ground, but he picks up about 4 on that carry there across midfield down into Naugatuck territory. Out over the ball, number 12, Rich Lester, who's done a great job of leading this offense all morning.
Second down. Who else? Sharkey carries that football carefully inside the 45, finally taken down by Pandolfo.
Crossbuck.
Third down for the Chargers.
Right up into the hole. Look at him try and strip the ball. That's Berry trying to strip the football with Pandolfo on the tackle. Close to the first down, and these first downs now are taking time off the clock. We're under 6 minutes to go here. The Chargers need to just hold on to this ball. A couple more first downs are going to make it very difficult for the Greyhounds to win. Unbalanced to the near side.
Sharkey again bouncing off of tackles, but he's going to be stopped, and now we're going to depend on the mark.
Where they've got it spotted, I think he's going to come up just short of that football again. A big call is going to come from the Ansonia side. They come with the bone, bang, right there, 15 carry, got him first, and then he stacked up and driven back along with Berry and Valenti, and it is close, not enough for a mark, so it's 4th and about a yard, and here come the Chargers, and they're going to punt the football and force Naugatuck to use the field again if they want to get into the end zone.
So 4th and 1 for Ansonia. The football down at the Naugatuck 43-yard line. Kevin Sharkey standing at his 43-yard line. Again, excellent long snap. End over end. Bacchetti on the other end. Jeffrey trying to get outside. Has a wall out there. Can he get outside? Fry does not let him. Jimmy Fry of Ansonia on the special teams.
Some good blocks, but not enough to get Bacchetti to the corner as Fry came through the wall, drove him out of bounds. There's a pretty good block on Thomas by Fruin. You're going to see another block right here on number right there, 73. Got a good pop, and then Fry breaks through the wall and drags Bacchetti out of bounds close to the 20-yard line. Naugatuck 80 yards away from a go-ahead touchdown. 4:55 and counting in this football game.
Here we go. Wishbone. Greyhounds need a score. Ansonia leads it 12-7. But Fonseca off the right side, and Victor gets about 2 on the play. Sharkey from the secondary on the tackle for Ansonia.
Kevin Sharkey has not only carried a big part of this offense, but he has been coming up from his corner position and making some big defensive plays. Caused a couple of fumbles. You see number 25 wrapping up the ball carrier. Yard gain, but boy, Ansonia will give that yard or 2 every time as their second and out of schedule here.
Smirkanets out wide to the left side. Murphy on the option, takes it himself, and Greg advances the football to the 25 before he's met by the Ansonia defense.
Naugatuck wants to get their people back into the huddle real quick. Time is very important. Murphy will hurdle some people as Sean Thomas takes the outside away. The linebacker, Prosnick, will come, grab him, drag him to the ground. It's a big 3rd and 6. 4 minutes left to go in this game. Not a lot of time for a wishbone team, as they've got a lot of area to cover, and this is a big play.
To say the least. Third down, 3rd and 6 from the Naugatuck 25. The senior quarterback is Greg Murphy. Back to throw.
Oh,
has a receiver out there. Al Terry catches the football at the 40-yard line, and Terry is brought down at the Ansonia 30-yard line. So the senior quarterback has gone to Al Terry, and that was the big combination that helped the Naugatuck overcome the Seymour Wildcats.
I don't know whether it's Tinney or Bird who just misses the tip here. It's Tinney. Just does not get his arm out far enough, and then he continues to make a tackle, but Naugatuck on the 30. It shortened the field down. 3:35 left to go. The clock is moving in this 4th quarter. The Greyhounds within striking distance for the go-ahead score.
Greyhounds were faced with a 3rd and 6 at their 25, and Murphy got it to Al Terry on the sweep wide to the right side. A flag is dropped. That is Fruin, the ball carrier, and John takes it down to the 25-yard line.
Going to be a holding penalty against the Naugatuck Greyhounds. Going outside, well, it's a clip. They're not going to call a hold, and it will move this football back.
And, Buddy, while they discuss the matters out there, let's go to our break. Well, a clipping penalty has moved the Greyhounds back to the Ansonia to the Ansonia 48-yard line. 3:17 showing on our scoreboard clock.
With the spot, Eddie, and the penalty, they lost 18 yards, so it's going to be a 1st and 28. They don't even get the benefit of the clock stopping, as it's down to 3:08 to go, and Naugatuck now is going to have to do something spectacular here on a 1st and 28.
Double tight formation out of the wishbone. 1st and a whole lot of yards. Murphy, under a rush, gets it out. It is almost intercepted by Ansonia on a screen pass to the left side. Fruin was in the area. He was an eligible receiver, broken up by Ansonia.
Duncan Della Volpe has the best shot at the reception, number 72. He smells screen. Sean Thomas with great pressure, and then look at Duncan Della Volpe. He's in the middle of it, and he just has the ball go off his fingertips. Robbie Clark comes in at the end. 2nd, 28. They've got to get to the 20-yard line for that 1st down yardage. This may be their last shot with the football, so they've got to get some 1st down or into the end zone.
Greyhounds have broken that bone. 2nd and long. They run the football. But Kenny, a loose ball, and Ansonia has picked it up by Jubilee, falling on the football. Let's look at the number. Plummer, Donald Plummer. Oh my.
Naugatuck has their timeouts. They can stop the clock. They come with a crossbar to Buchetti. Buchetti is going to get drilled right here. 1st hit, he loses the football. It's going backwards. And then 77, Donald Plummer, he just beats quarterback Greg Murphy to the football. And the Naugatuck Greyhounds right now in danger of that unblemished record going down the tube. Duncan Della Volpe down there. You saw him on the last play, and right now he is down. His dad is out with him along with Bobby Lisi. We'll see if we can see who gets the initial hit here, because he will cause the fumble. Della Volpe goes down inside on a stunt, and then right here comes the hit. 47, is that it, Edward?
47, Buddy. If that's the case, that would be Jeff Press, who comes in. Press is normally in on passing situations at linebacker for Ansonia.
Let's hear it for number 72, ladies and gentlemen, senior captain Duncan Della Volpe.
2:47 remaining in this football game.
You see the senior captain, Duncan Della Volpe, get up. He has played a great football game at tackle. Was an end last year, and they just moved him down, and he has played very well all year for the Chargers.
And he's walking very gingerly on that leg, but he is coming off on his own power. He says something to fellow captain John Pacheco as Duncan Della Volpe comes off the field, assisted by assistant coach Kevin Rowley. Ansonia has the football on the Naugatuck turnover at the 46, and all Ansonia wants to do is put away the rest of this game take away the clock. Sharkey guarding the football, 40-yard line, 30-yard line, 20, and taken down finally. Gruen on a touchdown-saving tackle, but Sharkey has brought the football inside the 15-yard line.
Kevin Sharkey, I think, has just put this game out of reach with that run, as he is going to go off tackle, and he is going to bring the ball down around the 12 to 13-yard line. He breaks some tackles, and then he just cannot outdistance the last Greyhound, but he does put the ball. That's Fruin, who comes from his backside to drag him down. They are down around the 13-yard line, and leg cramps now. Looks like Kevin Sharkey down with leg cramps, but that was a great run, and at a critical time, Naugatuck could have used their timeouts, possibly get the football back. Right now, they've got to stop them, and there's going to be a long distance from that goal line if they can stop the Greyhounds. 2:47 left to go in this fourth period.
And they're working on Kevin Sharkey and the apparent cramp down on the field. Meanwhile, the scoreboard clock is still registering at 2:47
Didn't move
to go.
that last play, so the time being kept on the field.
Now we're informed that there is 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this football game. The official time is kept down on the field.
This will certainly be an upset if you go by record, but on Thanksgiving Day, I don't really think that there is ever an upset. This game is up for grabs. The records are meaningless when both teams come into this football game, and you see Coach Hunt there in the middle of his offensive huddle. He knows what the Chargers have to do in the next 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and that's just really hold on to the football, forcing Naugatuck to use the timeouts, and even if they don't get into the end zone, Naugatuck is going to have a long way to go with no timeouts and very little time on the clock.
Buddy, while we have the opportunity, let me thank the respective coaches from both Ansonia and Naugatuck for their cooperation, making this broadcast possible. The athletic directors of Naugatuck High School, Bob Coet.
Pretty big smile on that number 25, Kevin Sharkey, as he has played a masterful game here for the Chargers.
And
they're going to try and get him back in there also.
Let me also thank the Director of Athletics, longtime Director of Athletics here at Ansonia High School, John Supp, and our spotter for today's football game, Chris Clifford, a junior injured Greyhound. First down for Ansonia. Dennis Tinney on the first down play wants to just guard the pigskin, taken down by Garbarino as Tinney just gets back to the line of scrimmage.
45 comes unblocked from the safety position. He drags Tinney to the ground. Bring up a second down from about the 14-yard line for the Ansonia Chargers.
Ansonia leads it 12-7. Football now at the 14-yard line. That's where the football has been marked.
Eddie, if this score holds, and tomorrow morning a lot of people are going to run to the newspapers to see whether the Chargers get into the playoffs and the Greyhounds, because both have an opportunity. Ansonia needed this to stay alive. We'll see if we get a rematch of that great Ansonia and Derby football game, with the Chargers hoping that they can get another crack at the Derby Red Raiders in the CIAC playoffs. And today they have played a masterful game against a very, very good football team. They have given Naugatuck all they've wanted. Defensively, they've taken most of that wishbone away as they're over the football now with 2nd and 10 at the 12.
And they're in the bone. They give it to Tinney. Tinney slices into the end zone. Dennis Tinney has maybe put this game on ice for Ansonia. Out of the ball.
Dennis Tinney with his 2nd touchdown of the day. He will come off tackle where Kevin Sharkey was in that offense, and he just comes in to the end zone with a 13-yard run. He had a 10-yard run in the first quarter at 2:59 for the first score, and he will put what looks to be maybe the last score of this football game, as Craig Peters knows that his offense and his football team is in trouble with 2:21 left to go, and they are down now 18-7 to a very, very good Ansonia football team who has played inspired football throughout this Thanksgiving morning of football.
We estimate the crowd here will be about 7,000 to 8,000 people.
I wouldn't even try and guess, Eddie boy, because it's just they're all over. And they have enjoyed, the Ansonia fans that is, have enjoyed a great morning. Naugatuck on the opposite side now are beginning to feel the pain of the first loss that their football team is going to suffer this season. Hopefully for Naugatuck, it does not knock them out of the playoffs because they have had such a great year. It would be just tragic not for this football team to get into the playoffs. But the Greyhounds certainly have met a very good football team today, and the Chargers have prevailed in really all areas of the game. They have done a great job both offensively and defensively, even their special teams, as they are going for two here.
Single back is Kelly, and Lester to put it up for the 2 points. Swings it out, and for the 2 points, Barrett in the left corner of the end zone. And Ansonia leads it 20-7.
Good coverage out on Barrett, but he just misses trying to knock the football down. There's a receiver, it looks like Bacchetti, number 35, who was Fonseca, between Barrett and the ball, but Barrett able to make the reception. 20-7, 2:21 left to go here in this football game. It's going to be tough for Naugatuck to come back.
.221 showing on the scoreboard clock.
And it's good to see Kevin Sharkey is out on special teams. He's there. His leg cramps have cleared. He's right next to Dennis Tinney. Two of the Chargers who have played a big role in this football game for Ansonia. Both Dennis Tinney shaking hands right there to the left with Kevin Sharkey.
Jamar Kelly in your picture to kick it off for Ansonia. Greyhounds in a desperation now have to move the football. They need 2 scores.
They could use a real good return right here.
Let's see if Fruin can provide it for him. John Fruin is just tripped up, and I mean just tripped up at the 40-yard line. And he had a lane, I believe it was the kicker, Kelly, who got to him.
Kelly will take his feet out from under him. Fruin right there, and then Fruin will lose his balance. Good job by Kelly as Naugatuck has broken the bone there, single back.
Not only that, Ansonia has gone back to their standard defense as Murphy completes it down to the 45-yard line. And the Greyhounds, I believe, have got to get on that football. Carl Barrett on the tackle, and Jason Ashton on the reception for the Hounds as the Hounds go into a 2-minute offense. Football at the Ansonia 45. The game is not over until it's over. Murphy on a rush, sacked.
That has a lot to do with it being over right there.
Pacheco among the Ansonia players to get to Murphy.
Naugatuck is forced to use a timeout. Murphy will go back, and the pocket will just collapse around him. Pettit comes from the top side. Sean Thomas, and also number 56, John Pacheco, the senior 6'1", 260-pounder. One of the captains of this football team dropped Murphy right at about midfield. Naugatuck forced to use another timeout. The only opportunity they're going to have is to get into the end zone and get the onside kick and maybe have time for 1 or 2 plays. But they've got a long way to go to get into the end zone for this first score. They need 2 right now. 1:39 left to go. Coach Hunt, talking to his football team, just does not want to give up a big play here in this part of the game. On the other side, Coach Craig Peters, he knows what his young men have to do, and with 1:39 left to go, they may not have enough time to accomplish that.
Greyhounds in a passing formation. Single back. 2nd down, 2nd and 15 at midfield. Ansonia in a prevent defense. Murphy winds up, throws downfield. It is picked off. Guess who? 40, 45, that's going to do it. Sharkey. A flag, however, hold the phone. A flag is dropped on the play at the 40-yard line. So, we might have called it prematurely.
From there, it may be a roughing the passer call, which will give the ball back to Naugatuck, and that's what it's going to be, a personal foul against the Chargers. So we're going to have to wait another 124 here. We'll see if we stay on this long enough to see the hit on Greg Murphy. As Murphy unloads the football, he's got to get pumped. Kevin Sharkey right there in coverage, just sitting off the outside coverage in the deep zone, and he returns the ball before Shea will take him down. But Naugatuck will start with the ball at the 35 there. Shea on the tackle. Naugatuck still will keep the ball.
First down for the Hounds. They get up. Murphy on a deep drop. It's a screen. It is almost picked off on the near sidelines. And that was intended for Fonseca coming out of the backfield.
Dennis Tinney right on the coverage came up. Almost picked it off. You'll see the ball not very well thrown as there is good pressure on Murphy as he gets back into the pocket. Wanted to throw it early, and then Sean Thomas wraps him up as he unloads. Dennis Tinney comes right in your picture, takes the football away from number 35, Victor Fonseca. Second down, only a minute and 6 left to go here as they're out to the trips to the wide side.
Single back. Murphy's going to just unwind downfield. Has the time over the middle. As a receiver out there, it is caught for the score for the Greyhounds. Number 84. Let's hold the phone. The Greyhounds are alive in this football game. Mike Smirkanitz.
Smirkanitz just comes right down the middle to the post. Murphy will set up. He gets good blocking this time. See Fonseca right out. Sean Thomas, and then he will just hit his receiver in stride. Smirkanitz with a good catch. Runs the ball into the end zone. They have to onside kick it right now to get the ball back. There are 59 ticks left on this clock. Although it's unofficial, it should be very close. Naugatuck now still with a little bit of a hope, a little bit of a seam there. And if they can get the football on the onside kick, we may be ready to watch the second miracle in 2 games for these Greyhounds, because they're going to have to pull a miracle off to get this one.
The game is never over until it's over.
Robbie Clark anticipated the snap a little bit early. Not a bad thing to do. You only risk giving up the half-yard distance or half the distance. And if you catch it right, you can break the seam. Naugatuck will again decline the penalty, not wanting to move their special teams unit.
The snap, the placement, and the Greyhounds have gotten it to within 6 points.
A lot of people have stopped in mid-stride as they leave this game now to watch and see what happens here. At 20-14, the Greyhounds obviously need the touchdown, but the onside kick right now is all important in this game. And this one has had everything you want. A couple minutes ago, we thought that it was just icing on the cake when Tinney ran the ball in from the 13-yard line. Naugatuck has come right back and answered. And the Ansonia Chargers now are going to have to recover that onside kick as they get their hands team, their special unit team. The best hands on the team are going to be right up in front here. Naugatuck knows what they have to do. The Chargers ready to counter it. We'll see what happens.
And, buddy, you have an experienced kicker in Fonseca. And this is something you work on all year long on special teams. Ansonia has to cover the kick. It's going to be an onside kick. There's no question about it. There it is. It's covered by Ansonia. Jeff Press covers it for Ansonia.
Not only did he cover it, he tried to run with it. So he has excellent hands, obvious by the fact that he's there. And right now, 55 seconds, as Fonseca does a good job of kicking the ball that will just bounce up for Press. It really, right there, makes it easy for him to grab it.
Ooh, but
and he tries to run with it. He bobbled it, but he had those hands to hold it. And the Greyhounds need a turnover on the first play. They've got to get a turnover here. 48-yard line. They're running time now as the clock is running. Naugatuck without a timeout. If they snap this ball and hold on to it, it's over.
Lester touches down, and Dennis Tinney guards him.
Just falling on the football, and that's going to be all she wrote.
That's it. Ansonia had to hold on as Naugatuck made it interesting in the last minute and a half with Murphy connecting with Smirkanics to bring the Greyhounds within a score of knotting this football game, but press fell on the onside kick by Fonseca, and Lester took a snap, and time ran down here. So the 92nd meeting between Naugatuck and Ansonia is history, and Ansonia has won the football game. Ansonia 20, Naugatuck 14, our final. We'll be back with a presentation of our Fitzpatrick's Player of the Game after these words.